You've told, and just before you go, tell me what I've said that's not true.
Well, saying that Tommy Robinson's inciting violence while these riots.
So why did he lie about a Muslim asylum seeker?
Not the start.
That's how the riots started, Aaron. Based on that racist lie, which he was one of the main architects of. Can I just clarify one thing?
Yep.
You were wrong about what immigration is. You were wrong about what illegal immigration is. You were wrong about incitement. You were wrong about what Tommy Robinson has and hasn't done. You were wrong about the rioters. You were wrong about my position. You were wrong about misinformation. Every single thing you've said in the last 20 minutes has been utterly unevidenced and wrong. But when we...
What is up, everybody? Harry here. This is James O'Brien on LBC with a caller named Aaron defending Tommy Robinson and the summer riots as being fundamentally about illegal immigration. O'Brien asks one simple question: what's the actual legal route to claim asylum? And Aaron can't answer it. From there, it moves through the false claim that started the riots, the actual asylum approval statistics, and a two-tier policing claim that falls apart when O'Brien asks him to name a single hotel that was burned or shop that was looted in the incident he's describing. Get subscribed if you want breakdowns that stay precise on the facts. Let's get into it.
Start with Aaron, who's in Medway. Aaron, what would you like to say?
Hello there. First time calling, so I'm a little bit nervous. Wish to get my opinion across, really.
Excellent.
It's just the way you're coming across, really, to be fair.
Okay.
Like, you keep saying Tommy Robinson is inciting the violence and everything as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But if you actually read through all his tweets and everything, he's constantly advocated for no violence because that undermines everything. He's constantly been saying, everyone stop the violence because it gives everyone a reason to go against it, kind of.
Why did he choose to lie about a Muslim asylum seeker if he's not trying to incite hatred of Muslim asylum seekers?
Because that was the news at the time.
No, it wasn't.
It was sort of all round everywhere on.
It was on racist social media accounts. It wasn't anywhere else. And I think Nigel Farage may have contributed very deliberately to the confusion. But you chose, did you, to believe it, despite there being no evidence? I didn't. Why would you do that?
At the time, yeah.
Why do you think you did that?
I don't know. It's social media. I agree that there is a big problem with social media everywhere.
And where does Tommy Robinson do most of his work?
Speech.
Where does he do?
It's on X.
What?
It's on X, social media.
So that's where the big problem is.
Yeah. But
you're here to tell me he's not part of it.
Well, he hasn't told everyone to go out and loot shops and riot.
No, but he's told people that 3 little girls were murdered by a Muslim asylum seeker, and lo and behold, people are looting shops and rioting and kicking in the doors of Muslims. You don't think there's any link at all there, Aaron?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's right in that, along with a lot of other people that come out with this misinformation.
What do you think then?
What do I think about what exactly?
What do you think about these riots?
I think the violence is completely wrong, It undermines everything they're trying to achieve or the point they're trying to get
What's the point they're trying to get across?
Yeah, the point we're trying to get, they're trying, we're all trying to get across.
You said we're then, didn't you? Was that just a slip of the tongue?
Yeah, because the mainstream media make people more right-wing, even though it's central.
Right. So what's the point? What's the point they're trying to get across?
Do you think it's right that we're spending £6 million a day to house illegal immigrants in hotels while our elderly are going to freeze this winter?
I think that it's a direct consequence of the Conservative Party's decision to stop processing asylum applications, between 70 to 80% of which will be passed once those applications are processed. And if you go to the Home Office website, you can see how the annual cost has risen from millions to billions as a direct consequence of what they have done, because by creating this crisis, they can whip up the kind of hatreds and prejudices that they thought would help them electorally, but of course they miscalculated on what the Reform UK Limited Party would do. And when you say illegal immigrants, you are wrong, because they can't be here illegally until their application has been processed. And as I've just told you, 70 to 80%.
You haven't even got to look in the news.
70 to 80% of the applications prove to be successful. So tell me again what point you think the people throwing smashed up gravestones at British police officers are trying to make.
Well, they're trying to make the point that, enough is enough. Like,
sorry, enough what?
Too many illegal immigrants, and we stress illegal.
Right. So why are they kicking in the doors of legal Muslims, people that were born here?
That's what I'm saying. That's completely wrong.
Right.
That is, you've got idiots in any group. Like last night in Birmingham, for example, where you've got Muslims out on the street. You will have wrong people in there that are threatening Sky News presenters. They
didn't threaten Sky News presenters. They swore, and therefore I watched it as well. And I'm a professional broadcaster. And if you don't immediately curtail a broadcast which contains swear words, then you'll get an Ofcom complaint upheld. But I talked at 10 o'clock. Yeah, well, slashing a tyre and attacking a police officer, they're not the same thing, are they? And yet I'd said at 10 o'clock this morning, someone will come on the show today and try to claim that these are somehow equivalent. Let's focus on the point that you think these people are making. They're making the point that there has been too much illegal immigration.
Yeah.
Okay, and you think that watching police officers get attacked, hotels get set on fire and shops get looted will make the mainstream media go, oh gosh, I think there are some people out there who think there's too much illegal immigration. But they don't know what the words illegal immigration actually mean, but they're certain that there's too much of it.
Well, every day we're seeing boats. I mean, I went fishing at Deal the other day, and you can see 3 or 4 boats come over every single day. They're not women children. They're not fleeing anything. They're fighting middle-aged men.
How do you know they're not fleeing anything?
Eyes.
Now, how do you know they're not fleeing anything?
Because they're throwing their passports into the water on their way here to claim illegal asylum.
That's not how it works. That's what they used to do when they were on air. That's what they used to do when they were on aeroplanes. So how do you work out, Aaron, whether they are bona fide asylum seekers or not?
Well, you'd need to go through the proper. At the end of the day, you can't come up on a rubber dinghy.
No, answer the question.
That's legal.
Answer the question. How do you find out? Well, talk me through what the legal routes are before you go.
Legal routes are applying properly, isn't it, through visa?
How do you do that?
You can't just rock up on.
Where do you
do
that? Where do you do that?
I honestly don't know because.
But you have to know, Aaron. Do you see why you have to know? Because you're on national radio expressing strong opinions which are built on nothing. Tell me how you apply. Tell me how you apply for asylum in this country.
If I was to turn up on a beach
just tell me how you do it.
Some other country,
tell me how you do it.
That would be illegal.
Well, how do you think they got to here? They've passed through loads of countries, mate.
Illegally.
Not illegally. They are asylum seekers until their application is processed. So tell me how you apply legally.
I don't know because I'm not an asylum seeker.
But you're so certain that they're bogus. You're so certain that they're fraudulent. You're so certain that they've got loads and loads of other choices. And I ask you what those choices are, and you say...
Well, what are the statistics for the amount of illegal immigrants that have come over here this
I've told
year?
you. I've told you that the rough average is between 70 and 80% of applications processed will be found to be valid.
That's too much, you know.
What do you mean that's too much? That's counting. That is saying, are you a genuine refugee? And the answer, after very, very stringent testing now, as a consequence of the political environment that you're part of, the answer comes back, yes, you are a genuine refugee.
Yeah, I don't know. All I'm saying is, you're spreading misinformation.
What misinformation?
The misinformation that everyone that's against illegal immigration is just racist.
Just run me by when I said that.
Earlier, you're constantly just saying,
tell me what I said.
The fascists.
Yeah, the rioters. I'm talking about the rioters and the people that have incited them. I'm against illegal immigration. I think that when people's applications are found to not be valid, they should be removed from the country. So what's the misinformation
so you're
then?
For the Rwanda bill then?
No, those are people whose applications were found to be valid would have been sent to Rwanda or forced to stay in Rwanda.
Send these? illegal immigrants? You're saying you want them out the country. Where are we sending them?
It doesn't matter, does it? You send them back to their country of origin because they will be safe there.
Are we doing that?
Well, we'd like to, but we can't because the backlog of process of applications that haven't been processed as a consequence of conservative policy designed to appease people like the rioters and shall we say their fellow travellers has caused a bottleneck that Keir Starmer now has to sort out. So everything you've told, and just before you go, tell me what I've said that's not true.
Well, saying that Tommy Robinson's inciting violence while these riots.
So why did he lie about a Muslim asylum seeker?
Not the start.
That's how the riots started, Aaron. Based on that racist lie, which he was one of the main architects of. Can I just clarify one thing?
Yep.
You were wrong about what immigration is. You were wrong about what illegal immigration is. You were wrong about incitement. You were wrong about what Tommy Robinson has and hasn't done. You were wrong about the rioters. You were wrong about my position. You were wrong about misinformation. Every single thing you've said in the last 20 minutes has been utterly unevidenced and wrong. But when we bid each other farewell, in my case, and I'm sure in yours politely, you'll still believe every single thing you believed when you rang me, won't you?
Because I see it with my own eyes, you know?
Yeah.
Like the two-tier policing.
Yeah.
You know, you can't tell me that doesn't exist and it's a myth. We all see it last night.
Right.
You know, we all see it. There was thousands, hundreds of Muslims and lots of other.
How many hotels did they set fire to?
Out on the street.
How many hotels did
they set? They raided pubs.
How many hotels did they set fire to? How many shops How many shops did they loot?
They raided pubs and took out white people and racially attacked them.
You saw this on social media?
Yeah.
Which you said 15 minutes ago was the biggest problem in spreading lies and misinformation.
Well, it's not a lie if it's there in front of you. You know, it's just
the tweet about the Muslim asylum seeker killing those 3 little girls. It's not a lie because it was there in front of you.
Well, no, because this is a video right there in Birmingham,
right.
And you can see Sky News was there.
I saw that video.
They had to retreat.
I saw that video. They didn't have to retreat.
Did you see the police in that video?
Okay. So no hotels set on fire, no shops looted, no police attacked, but it's two-tier policing because the people who are looting shops, the people who are setting fire to hotels, the people who are throwing bricks at the police, they're getting collared, and the people who aren't doing any of those things aren't getting collared. Therefore, there must be two-tier policing.
Well, did you see it last night? There wasn't any police on that news report.
Well, how can there be two-tier policing if there aren't any police there, Aaron? Love to the family. It's 10:38.
Watch the exact moment Aaron's argument runs out of road, because it isn't when O'Brien disagrees with him, it's when he asks a question with a factual answer. What is the legal route to claim asylum? Aaron says people should apply properly through a visa, gets asked where, and eventually says, I honestly don't know. That's a genuinely useful moment to notice in any political argument. Not just this one. Strong opinions about a process are only as solid as someone's actual knowledge of how that process works. And there's a real difference between being frustrated about a policy outcome and being able to describe the policy itself. The asylum statistics point deserves to be stated plainly because it's a specific, checkable claim rather than a matter of opinion. O'Brien cites roughly 70 to 80% of processed applications being found valid, and under UK and international law, a person claiming asylum isn't classified as illegal simply for arriving without prior permission. That status is determined through the application process, not before it. That's a legal definition, not a political framing, and worth separating from the much larger, entirely legitimate debate about how many asylum seekers the UK should accept, how quickly claims should be processed, and what happens when they're rejected. The exchange about how the riots started turns on a specific, falsifiable claim. A false report about the identity and immigration status of a suspect in the Southport killings circulated before any facts were confirmed. And O'Brien argues that specific misinformation, not a general immigration debate, is what preceded the disorder that followed. Aaron doesn't defend the original claim's accuracy. He shifts to arguing the riots don't represent everyone concerned about immigration, a fair but different point that doesn't answer what triggered events on the night. The two-tier policing claim runs into a simple test. Aaron cites a Birmingham video as evidence, then can't name a hotel set on fire, a shop looted, or an officer attacked in the incident he's describing. The same categories of harm he just criticized elsewhere. That doesn't settle whether policing is applied consistently, which is fair to scrutinize with actual data, but this particular evidence doesn't establish what he's using it to establish. None of this resolves the underlying policy debate about immigration numbers, asylum processing capacity, or border enforcement, which remain legitimate and contested questions worth arguing on the merits. And people across the political spectrum hold sincere, differing views on where the right balance sits. What this call actually demonstrates is something more specific: the gap between how confidently a claim gets stated and how, but it survives, being asked, how do you know that? And how often that gap only becomes visible once someone actually asks. It's also worth noting what Aaron does get right, or at least reasonably. He distances himself from the violence itself, says the rioters don't represent everyone who's concerned about immigration levels, and draws a line between disagreeing with policy and attacking people based on faith or ethnicity. That distinction matters because conflating a legitimate policy debate with the actions of people who set fires and attacked police doesn't do justice to either side of the actual disagreement. The problem in this call isn't that Aaron holds a policy position, it's that several of the specific factual claims used to support it, once tested, weren't ones he could actually back up. If breakdowns like this are genuinely useful to you, get subscribed to Harry Unfiltered, and I'll keep pulling these apart properly, one call at a time, whatever position the caller happens to start from.